As far back as we remember, Amy's always been chasing Sonic and trying to do anything to get him to marry her, which is such a strange concept. I don't think hedgehogs got married. Anyway, I'm SonicGuy and here are 10 facts about Amy Rose. Number 1. Originally in a manga? Amy Rose was created to be part of the Sonic CD game. Sega's character division wanted Sonic's universe to have a mini to Sonic's Mickey. The thing is though, Amy first appeared in the Sonic the Hedgehog manga, published by Shogakukan, before being introduced in Sonic CD. In this version, Amy was brown instead of pink, and her spines are in a ponytail. It's definitely a different take on the character. Number 2. First time playable? So Amy's first appearance was in the hugely popular game Sonic CD, but her first time as a playable character was actually in the Game Gear title Sonic Drift, where you could actually zoom around as her in her vehicle that she called Breeze. Amy would later return for the sequel Sonic Drift 2, but since then has been playable in so many games, including Sonic Fighters, Sonic Adventure, and many more in the future. Number 3. Amy CHAOTIX. So this is a short fact, but still an interesting one. In the early stages of the game Knuckles CHAOTIX, Amy was actually supposed to be one of the playable characters. This was stated in the History of Sonic the Hedgehog book. This wouldn't be the first game that Amy was supposed to be in, but didn't make the cut. Number 4. Shake 'em, Amy. Yes, shake 'em, Amy. Shake your maracas. In Sonic Advance's sound test screen, you can see Amy shaking maracas. But what you might not know is that this is a reference to her shaking maracas in the Sonic the Hedgehog manga title. Another short one, but still quite a weird reference. Number 5. Princess Amy Sally? In the prologue in the instruction manual of Sonic CD, Amy Rose is named Princess Sally. This is a reference to the TV show that has Princess Sally as the main female protagonist. In this description, the name was the only thing that changed, however, and still said that Princess Sally was a hedgehog instead of a squirrel. This has since been taken out in other future versions of the game, but it's still there if you look for it. Number 6. FLEETWAY Amy? The most noticeable difference between the way Amy was portrayed in most media and the FLEETWAY Amy was the fact that Amy being obsessed with marrying Sonic was a lot more of an afterthought in this. There were times when she did mention liking Sonic, but as comic writer Nigel Kitching said, "I saw it partly as Amy just trying to annoy Sonic." She very much became a character in her own right quite early on, and even had many of her own stories, not just relying on chasing Sonic, which brought a lot more depth to her character. Also, in Sonic the comic, Amy seemed to change her clothes a lot. It's just a little cool thing that happened, but it happened between most stories. She'd wear a different top and trousers, and it was quite noticeable. Her shirts usually had different designs on, some British related, but other things are just random just to make it look fresh. Number 7. Her own game? Did you know that Amy has her own game? Yeah, this is called Amy's American Page 1. It was only released in Japan as a mobile game, as Amy No Page 1. This game was part of the Sonic Cafe service, and is based on the Japanese card game American Page 1. It would take too long to explain exactly how to play the game, but it's a card game, and it features an all-female cast outside of a hero Chao. But it has never seen a release outside of Japan. It's still cool that Amy has her own game though. Number 8. ROSY the RASCAL. Amy Rose originally in Japan was called ROSY the RASCAL, which even after changing her name to Amy Rose, was still used as a nickname. The biggest reference to this, however, is in the Archie comics. The evil counterpart to Amy is an original character called ROSY the RASCAL. She follows around Sonic's evil counterpart from the comic, Scourge the Hedgehog, in a very similar but kinda darker way than Amy does with Sonic. She's also more reminiscent of Amy's original design before Sonic Adventure. Kind of a nod to her being an early remnant of Amy Rose. Number 9. The Pico Pico Hammer. The Pico Pico Hammer, named after the noise that the toy would make that the hammer is based on, is Amy's main form of attack. She first used this in Sonic the Fighters, instead of punches, and has brought it back on many occasions, most noticeably Sonic Adventure. There are many versions of this hammer, and other characters, like Sonic, Tails and Knuckles, have all been seen using their own versions. In fact, Tails used this hammer even before Amy did. One big question regarding the hammer though, is where does she keep it? Funnily enough though, this was actually addressed in the Sonic Archie comic, where Amy absorbed the Ring of Acorns, which made her older, and obtained wish granting abilities, which actually allows her to summon the hammer at will. And number 10, X-TREME Amy. The lead artist in Sonic X-TREME, Ross Harris, has shown that Amy Rose was originally supposed to be in the game. Harris explained a few of the mechanics to how Amy would work. What would have been the first female playable in a Sonic game, Amy holds out a ring in her hand, which could be thrown as a projectile at enemies. As rings equal life and health, you are literally judging whether to throw your life away or not. This however would have been false, as Amy was, as we said before, first playable in Sonic Drift in 1994, and the first showing of Sonic X-TREME was in 1996. This has been 10 facts about Amy Rose. Do you know any more? Leave them in the comments, and also mention which character you'd like to see a top 10 facts video about. I've been SonicGuy, and I'm out of here.